Yeah.
How many did you solve?
We solved yesterday too, in yesterday classes. So it's almost 25th,
How many?
25, I
Twenty.
think so.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so everyone please open their REPLs. We will do some practice exercises today. So the format will be similar to last week. And as we go, like if there's something that I feel like you're struggling with, we will stop on that topic and check it, like look into that a little deeper. So let's see. Zarina, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just a second.
Okay.
Mm. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So let's start with some simple like if-else statements, and then we will move on to for loops and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first task is this one. Let me share that in the chat.
Accept time as parameter. Say good morning. It's afternoon print. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Function. Just like how to yeah.
Oh, you need to turn off the AI tool. Yeah.
Time. Let's see. Is it right? Is it correct? Current? Or is there any?
When you're naming a function, try to name it in like as an action, because function is performing something, right? So this function is supposed to
Show time?
more like, okay, so accepts time as a parameter. If it's before noon, it will say good morning. If it's in the afternoon, it will say good evening. So something more like greet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 116. We could will become parameter as, for example, 2 a.m. or something like that.
No, time is, imagine time in a 24-hour format. Let's not do AM PM thing.
Okay. How we can so is it before noon? See.
So if it's like less than 12, then we will say good morning. If it's not, then we will say good evening.
Okay. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay,
but
cool.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's do one more, some like similar to this one, but
Mm-hmm.
a little bit different. Okay, so we want to write a function. One second. Let me get a control. Mm-hmm. So we want to write a function that accepts two parameters. First one is time. Second one is person. Have you guys covered objects?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so person object. Person object has a name property and gender. Okay, so something like
Mm-hmm.
name, right? And gender. Okay. So that person is your customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do is you need to determine, so if time is between, let's say, 1 to 3 p.m., right? Then greet your customer by name. And if it's a male, you want to say like Mr. If it's a female, you want to say Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if it's between those hours, say that it's a happy hour. So they will get a discount. If it's any other time, so you just greet them like by name and with like Mr. and or Miss before the name. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that would be like either hello, it's a happy hour, or just a greeting. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let me stop the control 1 second, or I will mess it up for you. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Should I change the first function or we will?
No, you can just write a new one.
Okay. Great person. Time. Person. Is it enough? Just write the person, not the object.
Yeah, of course.
Mm. So const person. Has two keys, name.
So person is going to be your parameter.
Uh-huh.
You have to
Yeah.
create an
Yeah.
object.
Person info then. Yeah.
No, I mean, you don't need to create a person object inside your function. Person object will be passed as your parameter. So when you call your function, you will call it with a person object. But right now, you don't need to create it. You just need to use the properties of name and gender.
Okay. But how we will use them? Or should we create this before object with keys? Or do we need?
So person is your hypothetical object. And you know that person object will have name property and gender property, right? So how do you use a name property? So for example, if you just need to use, if you just
I'll
need to
just type like that.
Exactly. And how
And
do
I
you
will
get
become
to gender property? Exactly.
no.
Good.
Mm,
So now
yeah.
knowing that, you need to think of how to greet a person depending on the gender, right? And how to greet them also depending on the time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great customer.
Sorry.
No. We have to write gender.
Take your
I have
time.
to check one more time. I mean, uh, is it a man or woman? Should I add one more condition,
Okay.
or we can? Yeah. If person gender and male considerable. So else And then uh, when it's another time, then we will just greet.
Yeah, but also if it's a female, we will use
Ah, okay. Mm, mm, Can I use the same thing?
okay.
That okay. Or something like that. Function, exception to check parameters, person, gender, to create the customer by name, things. Mm, Let me try. Create person. Time, but how to write the person as an object?
Yes, so
Should I
you can
just
use an object.
uh, should I
No, just curly braces and name and gender properties.
okay. Mm, like this?
Um,
Or
so when you're writing an object, when you're creating
mhm,
it, there should be like a specific syntax, right? There's
mhm,
key and value property. So right now you only have value properties, but you also need a key.
mm,
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. Now, I want you to have a look at your function and think of
mhm,
a way like how you can improve it. Like, do you think there is a room for improvement? I mean, it
mm,
works fine, right? The results are what we expect them to be. But do you think there is a room for improvement?
We have fast similar things here.
Yeah. So we are
Mm,
breaking the rule of do not repeat yourself, right?
mhm,
We are
mhm.
doing exactly the same thing from line 18 to
Yeah.
22, right? And then again
Mhm,
24 to 28. So how do you think we can improve that?
mm, mhm, mhm.
And everyone, like Lavinia and Rustam, feel free to brainstorm it. I'm gonna give you guys, let's say, 5 minutes to think about it.
Mhm,
No pressure. I
mhm.
will mute myself. I want you to like really think about it, brainstorm it together if you want, and try to come up with like optimized version of this function. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm,
So I'm here if you have any questions, but I'll mute myself so that I don't distract you.
mhm. Guys, do you have any ideas? Um, mhm.
Will you please like go up a little bit? So okay. Yeah, that's good.
Mm,
So why do we need okay, man, if time is
We need
13 and this
to write it's either, I'm not sure, it's either on line 18 or line
mhm.
24. We need to write female and male. I think it's for, as I see, if time in between 13 and 15, greet the customer by name. Say that it's happy hour. So I think we should choose to see if it's female or male, right?
Mhm. Do you mean we have to change the main condition
No,
and
no,
then
no. Maybe on line 18, if person dot gender equal female,
mhm.
because both of them are male from what I see. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Here female, is it right? Something like that. So we have here two conditions. The first is time and then gender.
Oh, we have two conditions.
Yeah.
Write a function.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't know what you guys think. Maybe on line 23 we should use else if instead of else, but
Where? Here?
on line 23. But I'm not sure maybe
Industry.
what everyone else thinks.
If else and then which condition should I write? Because when we have else if, we should write something here. Hmm. Hmm.
I guess we have like too much if else these things we can
Yeah.
basically we can like combine it to fewer if else. If you want, you can. It will be a long code, but if you want, you can add like you can check the time at the same time you can check the gender.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, same code, but just change the syntax, I think. But I don't know how Acelia wanted us to do it.
When we add, for example, here, one more condition like and yeah, and female the person gender. Do you mean like that? And then we will greet. Rustam,
Yeah, we can.
I can just
Should we use like if else statements for whole? Like,
yeah, I think so.
okay.
Mm,
So basically, our hello, Mrs. or Mr. name is always occurring, right?
mm-hmm. Maybe we will. I select. Can we add one more thing here as
Uh,
a yeah? It's also almost object. I'm sorry. I thought maybe we will add one parameter as a female or male. We have almost. Yeah.
so
I have no ideas.
you guys need help with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, you're checking gender twice, right? You're
Yeah.
checking in the first if statement, and you're also checking it in the second if statement.
Yeah.
You know, you can actually do that once in the very beginning. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say, like in the very beginning of your function, you can create what's the word? Like title variable. You can say let title. Yeah, so let's just create it for now. And then you can check, so if person's gender is female, title will be Miss. If it's male, then it will be Mr.
Mm. And person, gender, yeah. Is it correct? Do you mean
No.
like that? This or
So I want you to have a look at your if statement right now, and
Mhm.
everyone take a look at the if statement and see if it's what we want. So we want title's value to be either male or female, depending on the gender of our customer. Oh, sorry, we want title
yeah.
Miss or Mr, depending
Yeah.
on the gender.
Sorry. Uh, then it means that return. So yeah. Is it correct now?
Okay, let's see. So the thing is with right now, we're not trying to return anything, right? Because if we return here, then this block of if statements will never be considered. What we're trying to do is we're not trying to return because the point of the function is not to return the title, right? We want to reassign the value of title depending on what?
Gender.
Yeah. So is this gender?
Yeah. No, it's title.
So if the person's gender is male, then we want title.
Title equal Mr.
So your condition should be if person, the gender, not title, because title,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The if statement will depend on the value of person, the gender. So if person is male, what should be the value of title?
Mr.
Else?
Title equal Miss.
Good. So now that you have a title, how can you use this variable? So why is it like grayish?
No idea.
Title. Oh, no, it's fine. It's weird. It should be like, it shouldn't be gray. Oh, because, let's see. So how can you use this title variable in your solution? So how can you improve your solution now that you know the title of a person?
Like each time we are printing hard typing it, yeah, we can just use the variable.
Exactly. So now I'm gonna give you guys 3 more minutes to think about how you can use this variable in order to improve your if-else statement from line 25 to 37.
So instead of we are printing 2 lines, right? Like 27 and 29 for Miss and Mr. So this one can be only 1 line, yeah. Just console log. You can delete. You can you can copy the line 27.
Yeah.
Yeah. You copy it and you can delete from line 26 to 29. Yeah, without okay. Yeah, and you should paste the copied code. And instead of Miss S, you should use the variable title, so $.
Yeah. Title.
Else, same thing, yeah.
Good. Yep. And see how much easier it is now to understand the function itself, right? Because when you have like a bunch of if else statements and they're nested within each other, it's hard to understand what's happening in the function. But
Yeah.
here we have divided, so we still have a couple of if else statements, right? But still, it's like each if else statement, like each block of this function has its own purpose, right? First one determines that the title of the person. Second one determines the whether it's like a happy hour or not. So yeah, so your first like initial solution was also correct. You did really well. Just sometimes it's good to like when you solve your function and you get the expected output, it's good to go back to the function and think like, is there a room for improvement? Is there any way that I can make it better?
Easier.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, but initially, like since it's just your like first month of JavaScript, so just try to solve it, right? Your first goal is to solve the function, to write the correct function, and your second goal is to improve it. So just first make sure that you understand the logic and you build the logic like you did with the first version, right? And only after that think of like how I can improve it. Because if you start immediately think of like the most optimal solution, then you may get a little confused with the shortcuts. So first, just try to come up with like the simplest, most straightforward solution, and then think of the improvement. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do. Do you want to do one more, Zarina?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now let's do a for loop exercise. It's very important that you guys feel comfortable with for loops. So I will send the task in the chat. Do you guys want Zarina to also share her solutions? Or are you guys okay? Yeah, okay.
I will just.
Oh. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with only one type of loop, or did you guys cover like other types of loop as well?
Yeah, we covered while loop.
How about for off loop?
For off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered also. But we didn't practice.
Good. Well, we will practice that today then.
Yep.
Okay, it's in the chat.
In card totally.
Feel free to paste the question here as well. So it will be like in front of you. And also I've sent the card array. You will also need that one. You don't need to comment out the card array because you will need it for the question.
Meant function called dictionary of objects representing items in the card and return to right solid with for loop and then with for loop. We have to first of all use for loop and then we will just improve our code with loop of for. of loop.
Not necessarily like it's not an improvement, more like a
Mhm.
different loop, right? But don't worry about it for now. Just try to solve it with a regular for loop.
Okay. Mm, Can I just leave this space empty? Yeah. Or
I mean, your function is supposed to take an array of objects
Yeah.
representing items, right? So that's the cart array. No, you can just write the cart. Uh-huh. Okay.
So returns the total price. In object, there is also index. Yeah. Or I mean, for example, first one, second one, third one,
Yeah.
objects. Okay.
So think of them. Okay, let me change it a little bit. So let's do like a simplified version first. So let's imagine that the card. So okay, let's do this. Let's comment this out for now. So let's imagine that your could you comment it out for us, please? Yep. So let's do card. So let's say we only have prices. So like 20, 50, and 80. Okay, let's try to calculate the total price of this one first.
Let them equal 0. Should be less or equal card length. Then maybe I will do like this. Let sum or total price and then total price. Okay. Price is I have to go. Total price.
So first of all, your function needs a parameter. Are you passing, when you call your function, are you passing the array?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Uh-huh.
card.
Okay, let's test again.
I think I have problems here. Mm. Oh,
Okay, let's test again.
one, okay. Mm,
So even like before you start changing anything in your code, let's try to analyze your current output and see what's the reason of this unexpected output, because what you expected to see is like 20 plus 50 plus 80, right?
mhm.
But instead you got 0, 1, 3, and 6. So where are these numbers coming from? Because they're coming from somewhere.
Mm. One, three, one.
So like, what's the
First
difference?
is
0,
mm,
1, 3, and 6.
mm, mm. I thought it's index, but 3 and 6,
Mhm.
and we have only 3 parameters. Mm,
Okay, so let me see. Let me show you something. Can I still control your screen? Yes.
mhm,
So let's say I add 100 here, and I
mhm. Just a second.
oh, could you go back
I
to the
removed here.
Mhm. Oh, so now it's 0,
Uh-huh.
1, 6, and 10. So where is that coming from?
We have here index 0, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, or 0, 1, 2, 3. And then we have mm, mm, it's look like 0 plus 0. First
Mhm.
one. Second one is
Exactly.
okay, and then we have
Yeah.
1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have 3 plus 3, and
Mm-hmm.
so on. Okay.
So it's adding the indexes of numbers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
indexes, but we
but we
want
need
elements, right?
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
elements. It means card index.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Isn't correct or
So
yeah.
inside the function, inside your function, do you have a card? What is a card?
I thought we had here. Yeah. I have to
So,
put in or
but if you want, you can specify it as a parameter here, or if you want, you can use a card array.
yeah, got it.
Card, it will still work.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so one more thing that I wanted to mention here. So in your for loop, you're saying card dot length, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, card at index I. But
Yeah.
parameter, you have card array. So
Mm-hmm.
you can either change that to card So like it's a bit more clear, right? But this one can be anything. Like it can be, for
Yeah.
example, grocery cart, right? Or tomorrow it can be, I don't know, like t-shirts cart, right? The most important thing is that here you have a cart array, right? Or you can just say array, but you know that in any case, like whatever cart of items you receive, you will be able to calculate their total. Okay, so make sure that whatever parameter you're using here, you also use like everywhere in your code, because tomorrow it can be some kind of different array here, right?
Yeah.
And you calculate for it. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm.
Is not defined.
So it also tells you which line the error is coming from. On the right-hand side, you will see that like right here, one second. It's right here, it's telling you which line, line 54.
Yeah, got it. Total price.
Okay. So why
No.
do you think it's showing you the total price multiple times, first of all? Like it's showing you 20, then 70, then 150, etc.
It's in a loop. That's
Yeah.
why.
Okay, let's try again. Good.
Why it's not to less than card length equal.
Think about it.
So total is 0 and then 20. No, 20. 80. Maybe we should just remove it. Equal.
Why do you want to remove it?
For our length is 4. And then less than 4, then it will be only 3.
So how many times your for loop can run right now? How many times is it running?
1, 2, 0, 1. It should be 4 times. We have 4 elements. I mean,
So yeah, actually, how can you check like how many loops your for loop is doing?
console log index.
Okay, let's do that. Let's run your code again.
Okay.
Right now it's correct, right? But why, when you were doing less than or equal to cart length, why was it wrong? Why was it returning not a number? So if you go back to like original solution, on line 48, initially you had I is less than or equal to cart.length.
Yeah.
So if you go back to that solution and try to run your code again. How
Okay.
many times is your loop running?
Or 4 times, but we have index until the
Your loop is running 5 times, not 4
5.
times,
Uh-huh.
5 times, right? But there is no fifth element in your t-shirt,
Yeah.
right? That's why it was trying to add non-existent element, non-existent number to your total price. That's why it was receiving not a number at the end. So how can you console log each element of the array that you're looking at inside the for loop? Now let's keep the equal sign for now. So how can you look at each element that your for loop is Okay, cool. Let's run it again. You see, undefined.
Yeah.
So before your for loop was running 5 times, right? And there is no fifth element in the array. That's why it will give you undefined for the last element. So it was initially counting, so it was like 70, 150, 250, and then it tried to add undefined to 150. That's why it was returning none as a total price. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good, very good. Oh, could you please share it together with the question, because I think we have a couple of new people joining and they don't know the original question. So let's have a 10-minute break now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will.
What's that?
I have sent first our solution and then question. Sorry.
It's okay. So let's have a 10-minute break, and then we will solve it for a different array, for a more complex array. Okay?
Thank you.
Welcome, Amantur. Welcome, Janar.
Hello.
Thank you for joining. Hi there. So we are just practicing. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, we're just practicing for loop practice questions. So I have like a list of questions that I think will be really fun for you guys to solve. And it's very important that you guys practice for loop so that you can, be very confident solving any for loop related questions, array related questions. So in the second half, we will continue solving them. And we've solved like 3 or 4, and I think, Zarina, if you could also share the previous ones, that would be great if you guys want to have a look at them later. Okay, let's have a 10-minute break. And we will practice more. Okay, see you soon. Okay. Rustam, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. So let's share your screen. Please open REPL.
So you gonna work the same project or?
Let's see. Yeah, let's yeah, solve that first question, the last question that Zarina was working on.
This project, right? Or should I continue the Arena's code or should I create my own?
So you can try to solve it with regular for loop, but now our array is gonna have not only prices, but like a whole object. So it will be array of objects, right? And each object
Yeah.
is item that a person has bought.
Okay, so 1 second. Let's do so here's our function calculate total and it's accepting the array. So array may contain just numbers or like all objects. So in this case, it's array of objects, and we should return the total price.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, let's create that variable total price, total sum, yeah, total sum. By default, it's 0. So at the end, we will return this sum, and for now, just we can do the just the regular loop, so we can go for each element of the array. So let's see. So let's see what we are iterating at the beginning. I don't know why it's giving me this error. I pressed the sum button and it's giving me some errors.
Let's see.
Because I was working with Node, like some module stuff, so but it's printing right here.
Why is it saying that your array is not defined, is undefined? Everything looks good to me.
Yeah, so I was the REPL kind of suggested me something, like I didn't read, just I accepted and my code changed it. Here was some import, it imported something and it started giving me this kind of error, like not defined.
Interesting.
I
You can
can,
try to create like a new REPL if you copy
yeah.
everything and just try to create a new REPL. Go back to
So
the home page.
here, new, uh,
Yeah, just create REPL.
yeah. Um,
Okay. I don't know why it's
Yes.
with array that length. No, that's not the issue.
From here now, they delete it.
No, this shouldn't be a
Looks
problem.
good. Yeah, so I was using the reduce array, reduce built-in function. That's why it happened. Same thing. Should we continue, or should I use like maybe it's because of my browser? I don't know.
Shouldn't be.
Okay, it's asks me. Usually it asks the password.
Yeah, GitHub introduced two-factor authentication recently. Did you receive the code?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think because of that maybe. So I'm creating new repo and I choose maybe JavaScript from here. Do we have JavaScript? No?
No, just Node.js. Node.js is fine.
Node.js is fine.
Okay, create.
Okay, so run.
Why is it complaining about the array length?
Cannot read the properties of undefined. Reading links. Home, runner, array, 9, 20 plus.
Yeah, so it's pointing to line 9 to your
It's
for
here,
loop.
right?
Yeah, it's complaining about array.length.
Should I,
But
let's say, new, like, good, yeah, maybe it's because of the name convention. No,
shouldn't be.
it's length.
Yeah, so basically it's saying that your array is undefined, although it's just a parameter in your function. So I don't know why it's complaining.
Maybe I should do here console log and here just if I do just return array at 0, right? So first element it should return, right? New array.
Yeah, but then it will just return your first element.
The
It
first
doesn't
one.
problem.
Okay, so it will undefine.
Interesting.
Should I use the Google built-in console? Like, I mean,
No, it's fine. Let's just continue working and see if that will cause any issues.
okay.
Yeah,
I
just
gave you the remote.
Could you hide the console for 1 second?
Okay, one second. Console side, yeah.
Okay. Calculate total. So that will be, let's just keep it as an array, because when naming something, try to avoid new, because if you do anything like in JavaScript new and something, right? You see it's like a different color. So it means that you're trying to declare something. So like it's a reserved keyword in JavaScript. So like be careful with it. Okay, so array dot length. Okay, now when we're looping through this array, right? So if I console log array at index I, so what is array at index I now?
So
In
it's this
this,
object, the first object of the card array, which has two parameters like name and price. So it's object.
yeah, it's not first object, it's all objects, right? So it will print all objects. So this first element, second element, and third element, right? So what if I want to get to the price of array I? How do I do that?
Array I. So on console log array I, then dot. So first we're gonna reach the array, then we're gonna reach its so iteration element, first or second, then out inside it we should reach it to their property like price, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So since array I is an object, right? Each object inside our array, so we can do array I dot price, right? And that will give us specifically the price property. So if I run my code now, what am I gonna get?
20, 50, 80 element in array.
Exactly, 20, 50, and 80. Cool. So now that we have access to the price, how do I get the total of all those price properties?
You want to get the total one, or
Yeah.
so each time we should add to the sum.
Okay, go
Like,
ahead.
we don't have, by default our sum is 0, our card is empty, and each time we are going through the elements in the array, we're gonna take its price and we're gonna store it, so we're gonna add it to our sum, and on the next iteration we're gonna take the second element's price, then we will add to our sum, and third, so each time, and at the end we're gonna return the sum.
Okay, so please go ahead and implement that.
Can I delete this one, or
Of course,
leave it so?
totally up to you.
Okay. So here I will add. So I will update my sum value with array to current elements price value, and so each time it goes and it adds to our sum value and updates to our sum, and by the end of the loop we will so our function should return the sum, and on console log, yeah,
Oh, wait.
I can do.
What's happening there on line 16? Why are you calling the function twice? Calculate total card. I think that's where the error is coming from.
Oh, okay, maybe it's good now. Yeah, it's good. It's a card. It will give us the sum. I can do like
Okay, let's clear the console first because it's like a lot happening there.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, it was because of this. Yeah.
I didn't notice that one earlier. Okay.
Yeah, I have to deactivate the AI because sometimes it suggests and
So you can do it here. But I think right now it's disabled. Yeah, it's disabled now. Okay, cool. So that's the question for everyone. Like, was this part clear, guys? Anything about this? Maybe that could be like confusing. Okay, good. So I have a question. And that question goes to Janar. Janar, what will happen if I return sum here instead of here? Janar, are you there? Okay, Zarina.
It will return the sum. I
Which-
think the similar thing, but yeah, just a similar thing. Price 150
Okay.
without total prices.
Okay. How about Amantur? Amantur, what do you think? What happens if I return on line 11?
I think it should used for function because or for is inside of function.
So what do you think will be the output?
I think output will be nothing.
Oh, okay, interesting. Rustam, what do you think?
so if we read the code like JavaScript by line, so it enters on line 9, we start our loop, and on line 10 we will sum the first price, so at 0 index, which is first element, at price 20, we will add to our sum now. So now our sum is 20, and on line 11 it's returning the sum, so our function returning the sum, which is 20, and it will be 20.
Exactly. So when you guys are working with a for loop, you should always be cautious of the return statement, because where you return it will determine the result. Okay, so in this case, we need to return after the for loop has gone through the whole array, calculated the total price of all the elements, and only after that we're supposed to return. If we return inside the loop, then basically what's happening? For loop starts, it initiates index at 0, right? Then it sums the array I. Since I on the first loop is 0, so it will get the first element of an array at index 0. It will add it to the sum, which is currently sum is 0, so sum plus 20 will be 20, right? After that, it will go to the next line and it will see the return statement. So it will never go for the second loop. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. So always be cautious of the for loop because sometimes you need to return inside the for loop. Sometimes you need to return outside. That really depends on the conditions of your function, on the expected result. Okay? So that's why here, since we need to go through all of the numbers, calculate the total sum of all elements, so it means that we need to return outside of the for loop, not inside. Okay? Cool. By the way, is that my monitor or do you guys feel like
I guess
um,
it's my. I am sharing it. I did the. Why?
I feel like your monitor is a little blurry. Is it or is it just
Maybe because of Wi-Fi, like internet. I was connecting to my phone.
I don't think that's the reason, but you have Retina display, right?
Yes.
Maybe just my eyes are tired, to be honest, I'm not sure. Everything looks blurry to me. Okay, cool. Let's solve one more with you. Okay. Let's try to solve one more. So the task will be that you're managing inventory for e-commerce, right? So you need to calculate. Oh, no, let's do this. You need to check the quantity of products, right? So let's say you have an array of products, where each object is a product with a name property. So let's say t-shirt, right? And quantity, let's say 10. So let me duplicate it. Okay. Let's change that to socks. Pins and shoes. Okay. So you need to check the inventory of products, and if the quantity is less than, let's say, 5, you need to request like restocking. Okay, so if the quantity of your product is less than 5, you need to say something something like let's say products that need to be restocked, right? And then you give a list of products. So that should be your sort of the return statement. Okay. So now let's try to solve it with a regular for loop.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we managing the product.
Is
Check
the task
quantity.
clear for everyone, guys?
So we are managing the inventory, and we need, before they finish, so we have to order them by list whenever they are less than 5. Stocking product that need to be restocked. Okay. Should we return like string, the list of products, or should we return the array or object like with a name and how many quantity we want, something like that? Or
Let's just do a string for this one.
okay. So let's create the function first. So which function? Say check quantity. Check quantity. It accepts array. And so yeah, we do have the function check quantity, which accepts the array, and it should return the string. And let's create the so our output string, which is gonna be list or by default it's empty. Oh, okay. We are returning the array of. We can return the array of the strings. So first, second, and what should to order. So by default we can make it empty array, and each time we have a product which is less than 5, we will push it to this array.
Let's just
And
return.
so basically what we're gonna need is we are receiving array, and we should go each element of this array with for loop now.
Yeah, and instead of making like a list of products as an array, let's just do as a string.
Plus.
Rustam, can you hear me?
So we are looping through our array, and now we start the conditioning.
Yeah.
So we do
Rustam,
have
can you hear me
limit
now?
5, which is the minimum
Rustam?
number, and in case we are less than 5, we should order it. So basically, if
Asel, we can hear you, but
now
Rustam is not
array,
now.
our array
That's
is array of objects. We are and taking its element, each element with I. So array at first at zeros index, first index, and at the same time, if it's object, so we should take its quantity. So we are looping this products. We came to the first iteration at I0. We are taking the first product and its quantity. We are taking its quantity, which is 10. So and we are checking it. Is it less than 5? If yes, then list of product, which is our output array, it's our list to order restocking. We should push it the name of the current array. So array at I, which is its current element, dot name. So we are checking for each element of array, and as soon as we finish the loop, we should return our list of products. List of product. And here we're gonna do console.log. Then I can do, oops. So we should call the function check quantity. Our function, and our function check quantity accepts array, and as an array we do have products array. We will give parameters our products array. Okay, so let's clear the console and let's run it. So before this one, let's comment this line. So our array function and finish the console. Let's run it. Here's the list of products to order: socks and pants. So if we check our array first, so if we consider our analyze our function, so we are looping through our array, and first takes first element, and it checks its quantity. Is it less than 5 or no? So it's no. We do not have to order t-shirts. It goes to second element, and we take the socks. Is it less than 5? Yes. So it will add its name to our list. And the next, pants, also less than 5, so we should order pants. And shoes is more, so we don't have to order. So, and we are returning the list of products.
So I'm hoping he will check messages soon and realize that he cannot hear us.
Why I can't hear? I am hearing Asedia, but I'm not hearing others.
Okay, can you hear us now?
I am hearing you. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't.
Because for a while you couldn't hear us. We were talking and yeah, you couldn't hear us for like a couple of minutes, I think.
I didn't muted anybody, but I don't know what happened.
It's possible that you just muted the like accidentally the dynamic of your laptop or something.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize. You guys, what were you guys talking to me?
Oh, we were just shit talking about you. But yeah, good job. Good job, Rustam. Do you guys have any questions about Rustam's solution?
No.
All clear?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Nice job, Rustam. Are you solving the practice questions from the portal, by the way?
Yeah,
How many did you solve?
I so I finished the easy,
Uh-huh. Nice. Very
and
good.
here I'm having some problems here. Like which one? Yesterday I was going to ask Mario, but I couldn't, so
Mm.
I forgot. There was some error with my reduce function, so I calculating the
Okay.
something.
So what we can do is I can reserve last 15 minutes of the class and we can have a look at the issue that you're having.
Oh, it's fine if someone has like urgent questions, we can consider that thing. Thank you. I'm not sure whether I will be able to stay like till the end of the class today.
Okay, so let's have a look at it now so we can let you go. What's the issue?
Let me find it. So it was with sum of all now. No, not this one. Okay. So, okay. So it was this one. Okay. Oh, it's not going back, huh?
What do you mean?
So I was working on here.
Oh, you can just, yeah, open the previous REPL.
It's not logging.
Do you know what it was about?
It was kind of same. It was this project basically, this like this one, but we should. I was trying to make it with reduce.
So same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Can I? Should I comment it? Do we need this code or?
You can share it so others can have the solution as well, and we can try to solve it with reduce.
Okay, let me share it first, and we're gonna solve it.
Okay. Together with the question itself, probably.
Yeah.
You guys want a
Okay,
question?
from here. I'm just texting in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Did you send it?
Yeah, I sent it. You have the remote now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically anything. So reduce is like it's a really powerful higher order method, and basically you can do anything with an array using reduce. So if theoretically, if you wanted to solve it with the reduce function, so did you want to return an array or just a string
No,
or something?
it was for the price, so total price of the card.
Okay. So you would return a total.
So reduce by default it returns the total, right?
It will return anything you want. It can return
Yeah.
an array, it can return any object. So reduce by default as a higher order method accepts two parameters. First one is a callback function that it will call for each element inside the loop, right? And second
Yeah.
one is the initial value for the end result. So if we want to calculate the total, we can say that the initial value would be 0, right? And inside the callback, so there are two parameters, accumulator and current value, right? Oh,
Yeah.
so what happens inside a callback? So we want to calculate the total of basically
Quant.
each product, right? So we
Yeah.
just return accumulator plus equals current dot price up. And then we return total. Nope. Return accumulator plus equals total price. Accumulator total, 0. Do we need to return accumulator after? Oh, yeah, yeah. So with up with the return statements, return accumulator plus current price, I think. Wait, is it quantity or price? Quantity, right? We're working with quantity here. Okay, cool. So inside the callback, usually like you may face some issues with the return statement, because return statement can be a little tricky inside reduce. Sometimes when you're like pushing to an array, sometimes you need to like push first and then return. Do you know what I mean, Rustam?
Yeah, so it's kind of different. You're saying that it's different than like in loop or something like that, right? It will not return automatically at the first iteration. At the end, it returns, right? Are you saying that thing or?
No, in the callback in reduce, each callback is supposed to return something. So it's the same as if your for loop, if your regular for loop had some kind of function calling inside, right?
Yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
function, each function needs to have a return statement. Okay, so in reduce, like if you don't return anything in your callback, there is like there will be an issue. Yeah, so you should always be careful with what exactly you're returning. So also if you, for example, right now, if I do accumulator plus current quantity, right? And then I return accumulator. Oh. You see? So like you should always be careful.
If you put plus equal sign up there, will it work now?
You see? So like, but if you return on the same line,
Yeah.
then you don't need plus equals because it is adding and returning at the same time. So it's a little tricky with
Okay.
but reduce is very powerful, and whenever you need to manipulate an array, like with reduce, it's just the solution is so much more elegant. So if you practice reduce more, if you feel like very comfortable with it, then it will help you with like a lot of issues. And sometimes during the interview, like they would ask me to solve a problem specifically with reduce. So some interviewers they like to see how well you can manage specifically the reduced method, which is interesting. I think it's because it's not as straightforward as like filter or map or anything else. I think that's why they want to test your knowledge of reduce sometimes.
Is the like initial value is required? The 0 up there?
If you don't pass the initial value, then it will take the first element of the current.
Okay.
So in this case, you don't have to, but sometimes you need to. It depends on the situation.
Okay.
The second parameter is optional. If there is no second parameter, it will take the first element of your array and it will make that into initial value.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. All right, thank you, Rustam. You can stop sharing. Do you guys want to have a second break now before we solve more questions? Yes. Okay. All right, let's have a 10-minute break then, and then we will practice more for loop, and let's practice for off loop as well, just so you guys can feel the difference. Okay, see you soon. Okay. Let's see. Amantur, do you want to go next?
Mm, Then someone else, because I not feel confident with loops.
It's okay. We're practicing, right? We're here to learn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's open REPL. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and let's turn off the AI tool right away. Oh, yeah, it was disabled. Okay, cool. So let's start with a simple loop here. Hold on, let me get the control. So let's say we have array of numbers, right? 3, 9, 2, 5, and 10. So let's say I want you to write a function that looks for number 5 in this array. So as soon as you find this number, I want you to return something like found it. Okay, so as long as you find this 5, like as soon as you find it, I want you to return found it. If there is no 5, so let's say we have another array. It has 2, 9, 3, and 7. So this one doesn't have, right?
Mhm.
So if the array doesn't have, you should return there is no 5 in this array or something, or didn't find it. Okay?
Okay.
And everyone feel free to help out.
So we should first create function. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. This function should be that number which we are looking for is 5. So this number should be matched to 5. It looks
Right, but that logic shouldn't be inside the parameter, right?
this
So
one.
no, I mean on line 5,
Mhm.
a parenthesis. So let me show you. Right here, right? There shouldn't be any logic inside these parentheses because these parentheses are only here to accept the parameters of the function. And parameters are input values that your function is dependent on. Okay, so in this case, what is your function dependent on? Like what kind
We
of input?
can write like array.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Cool.
and here we should do okay. let I is equal to 0,
Mhm.
and whenever I is like 5,
First, we need to write a syntax for the for loop, right?
yes,
So first, let's make sure we write a full syntax for the for loop.
and here we can like write 6 because we have 6, or we can just put our array.
Array dot length.
That, and here we need that logic, yeah?
Yeah, but before you start writing the logic, make sure that your syntax for the for loop is correct. So look at it once again. Make sure that you have the full syntax. And everyone can pitch in, like if you have any comments.
Maybe
The spelling of the
for,
land.
That's the first thing. No, you don't need to wrap array into square brackets. First, you misspelled length.
And then we need comma, I think.
length.
Yeah. Length. It should be TH, not HT. And second, after the parentheses, you need to open the for loop itself. So you need curly braces after parentheses. Okay, now open them. Yeah, and now inside this curly braces, oh, where's your second one? You need one more closing.
It was for function. I think it's closing.
Yeah, so you need one more. Yep. So now go inside those curly braces. So that's where you write a logic that should happen inside the for loop. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we want to compare every number inside that given array. And if we find 5, then we want to return that we found 5. So how can we compare each item inside the array to 5?
We can make like this. We use our these objects.
I mean, we don't have objects inside an array. We only have numbers, right?
So we should create numbers variable.
No, we don't need to create any variables because now we need to compare, like inside this for loop, how can we get each number inside an array?
Array.length.
Array.length will return us the length of an array, which is a number of elements, right? But we want each number.
I really don't have no idea about it.
How about others? Anybody? How do we get each number inside an array?
console log.
So how do we get to each number?
So by index number, so we do have array and list of numbers. So for each list, there is an index, like you check at the box, and like it starts from 0 and 0, 1, 2. So in order to reach it, we gonna first select the array, and inside the brackets, we're gonna give the index number.
So array I. Array, square brackets, I. Okay. So now we need to, okay, so hold on. Right now, if you call your match number function with array of numbers, right? Now you're getting
It will
each
just
number.
print. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's printing each number inside an array, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is this undefined? Where is it coming from?
It because we started from 0.
Right, so index 0 is 3, right? Index 1 is 9. Index 2 is 2. Index 3 is 5. Index 4 is 10, right? Where's the undefined coming from? How many times is this loop running?
5.
5 times, right? So, but, okay, so index 5 doesn't exactly mean that the loops runs 5 times, because loop starts at index 0, which means how many times?
4.
6, right? Because it doesn't start at index 1, it starts at index 0. It means that until it gets to 5, it runs 6 times. But we only have 5 elements inside an array. We had exactly similar issue with Zarina's for loop in the first hour. So how can we avoid it? Our loop is running like 1 extra time. So here we just want to say that I should be less than array.length. So in that case, it will run exactly as many times as basically the length of our array, okay? So
Okay.
like, so now we want to compare each element inside our array to 5. And if, so we want to compare each element inside our array. So if we find an element that is equal to 5, we want to return something like we found it. So how can we implement it?
We can write like if array dot.
So we need each element, not length of the array. We need each element inside an array.
I is equal to 5.
Okay, cool. Then what do I want to return? We want to return, let's not console log it, let's return founded.
counted.
Mhm. So if we look through the whole array and we didn't find 5, then we want to return didn't find it. So do we want it, so where do we want to return it? We want to make sure that the for loop has finished and check every element before we return something else. So where does our for loop finish? Which line of code
9.
is it? Check again.
Oh no, 10.
So after our for loop is done checking each number, only after that we want to return didn't find it or something like that.
So here we should to write return, yeah?
On the next line. Next line.
11.
No, after 10, you need to press enter. So if you want to use like apostrophe, then you need to use double quotation marks instead of single ones.
Okay. So that's all, yeah?
Okay, let's check it. Let's clear the console.
I think we need console log.
Yeah, so on line 14, could you wrap your whole line inside the console, inside console log statement? Okay. Cool. And let's try with the second array. So instead of array of numbers. Okay. So what if right now we are only comparing them to 5, right? What if we want any kind of number? So we want to compare, to be able to compare it to any kind of number. So for example, we want to compare it to like 7 and then 10 and then, you know, any other number. So how can I change my function to accept any kind of number so we can compare it to? Not only 5, but like any number.
We can just remove this one, 5.
No, we still want to keep the comparison. We just want to be able to compare to any number. Right now, we're only comparing it to 5. Zarina, what do you think?
Maybe we will give we will just create one more let number, and then we will no, we will give just like a parameter number, for example, array comma number, and then we will remove 5 and give write the number.
Okay, cool. So let's fix that. So on line 5, Amandur, we need to
Mhm.
introduce a second parameter, which is a number. On line 5. Where is your list of parameters right now?
Here.
If statement.
No, where's the list of parameters in the function? Where
Oh,
the
I'm so sorry. So the first line function match number in brackets array.
So in parentheses, we need to add one more parameter, which is a number.
Here again.
Yeah, we need to add one more parameter. Cool. And now, instead of comparing each number to 5, yeah, we need to make that dynamic as well. So instead of comparing them to 5, we want to compare them to our number, which can be any number.
We can put just number.
Yeah, but we still need to keep the comparison.
I think I should review the topics. I really don't understand what's going on.
Zarina, how do we fix this?
Equal number. Yeah, I mean the compare or 3 equals. I'm sorry. And then when we call the function, we have to add one more parameter, which is number. No, I mean we have to give example. Yep.
Cool. Okay, good. Amanda, how many questions from the portal did you solve?
19.
19. Okay. Hold on, let me check those. That was in the skills section, right? Oh no, practice? Okay, so 19. Okay, 19 is good. Did you solve them on your own or did you just solve them together in class?
No, I just solved them by myself.
Good. I see that you're still struggling with some basic syntactical stuff. So I think that you need to practice a lot more.
Yeah.
So make sure that you solve more practice questions from the portal. Okay. Also, please make sure that if you're not sure about the syntax, like if you solved, let's say, 30 questions and you're still struggling with syntax of like function, or you still cannot differentiate between parameters and arguments and stuff like that. So like go back to the first question and solve it from scratch. Okay, so
Okay.
the only way to feel comfortable with the syntactical issues is to practice more. Like practice just writing code, writing for loop, if-else statements, functions, okay? So make sure that you practice a lot more because next week you guys will be starting, hold on, let me see. I think next week you guys will be starting DOM manipulations, but let me double check. One, two, yeah. Next week you will start DOM manipulations. And that will be like a whole new topic on top of JavaScript. So, you know, it's very important that by the time you start DOM, that you practice those functions more. So I would advise you to spend some time tomorrow on practicing functions, for loops, just the syntax and like general understanding, okay?
Okay.
Because once you start DOM manipulations, it will not be just like a simple function, but it will be function together with like some other stuff. So I want you to feel more confident with functions before you start DOM topic, okay? Because next week on Tuesday, you guys start the introduction to DOM. So it means that on top of like writing basic functions and basic logic, there will be like a new layer of knowledge there on top of that. So make sure that you practice today and tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good job. Yeah, Montor. Let's see. Lavinia, do you want to solve a couple of questions or are they too easy for you?
I am on the phone today, so that's why. But maybe next time.
You're on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Zarina, do you want to solve a couple of more? Oh, I think we have time only for one more.
Yep.
Mhm.
Just a second. Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna share an array with you. Where's the chat window? I lost it. 1 second. Oh, there we go. So what I want you to do is I want you to write a function that will loop through these employees array. Okay. And if you find someone in the IT department I want you to push their name to a new array.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your output should be an array of all people who work in IT department.
Okay. So it should be function find IT. Mm-hmm. Should I use normal for loop?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So now it's index 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm 0. I'm less than employees length. And then now we have to find where works in IT
Mhm,
department then.
mhm.
Mhm. If now, for example, when we console log employees with index, then we will have these objects.
Yeah, each object basically.
Yeah,
Mhm. Each
each
employee.
object, and then we have to go to keys to find IT.
Mhm.
It means I can just type here this. Mhm. How to go in employees. It means that when we have something like that, employees, and then brackets, then so we become the object,
Yeah. Mhm.
and then we have to go to department. Yeah, where is my?
No, it's okay. No. You need to disable it. It was
Okay,
disabled, but you enabled it.
so it's like this.
No, you need to remove the. Yeah,
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So it was
so I,
suggested because whenever you're dealing with an object, it will suggest the
now what
key.
we have already written on that. So then, yeah, I think it has to be so. Can I just control it?
Mhm.
Nothing.
Yeah, you
Uh,
call the function first.
yeah. Fine.
Mhm.
And then employee.
But is your function accepting any parameters? online.
No.
No, right?
But make it sense. Or
I mean, since we're dealing with specifically employees array, you don't have to pass any parameters, right? So on
Yeah.
line 17, you don't need to pass employees because it's not influencing anything anyway.
mm-hmm.
Because on line 11, you are specifically dealing with employees array, right?
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good. Then if employees equal to IT,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to it was incorrect. Then we have to push to a new array. Push. What we will push?
Name of the employee.
Okay. And then should I type here console log to see it?
Mm-hmm.
What?
First of all, you see that your array now has 2 items, right? Is it supposed to have 2 items?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So
Or
yeah, because there are 2 IT people, right?
yeah.
Means that somehow you're finding the IT people, you're just not pushing the right item to your array. So what is employees that name?
It's a key of an object.
Okay, so is
Do you mean that?
is employees an object?
Yeah. Oh no, it's array.
Right? So
It's an
employee
object.
is an array, so it doesn't have a name property, right? You need to make sure that you first
Yeah.
to each object inside employees.
I can use just if. Yeah. Name.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, now let's try to solve the same problem with for off loop. Have you guys covered for off loop?
Yes, but we didn't practice it. What? Find of employees. So for I think it was like employees. Yeah. For off, and then we have to give employee then employee.
Okay, let me help you out here. So
Oh,
for
it should be in скобочках.
first of all, there's no need for space here. Don't forget that you don't need space between parentheses.
Yeah.
So for off loop, guys, and that's for everyone, is similar to for loop. It performs like exactly the same, but you can use for off loop when you don't need indexes. So in this case, for example, we don't need this index. We don't need to know specifically index of the person, right? In this case, is for let element of array. So in this case, employees. So there is no index. There is only an element. So if I console log element, right? So it's the same as if I was console logging, if this was a for loop, employees index I. So now if I call my function,
It will become an object.
let's
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
This is the element. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
comment this. Okay. So in this case, it's a bit convenient because writing employees that department can be a little annoying, right? So in this case, since we don't need index, we can just write element that department, right? A bit more precise. So what you can say is if element that department is IT, right? So then we
Yeah.
want to push to IT department array. So what are we pushing?
Element dot name.
Perfect. Mhm. Cool. And then we can just return IT department array. By the way, it would be a better idea to to put this inside the function.
Inside the function. Okay.
So like here, for example, let's say result equals to empty array, push to the result, okay, and we want to return result. What's happening?
Should I run it? Or...
Oh, let's console log the whole thing. Could you console log for it?
Yeah. Function.
Let's run again.
Yeah.
There we go.
Same thing.
Okay, very nice. Let's see. Let's solve one more and then I'll let you guys go. So let's go back to this array. Okay, and I'm just gonna add one more thing. Let's say experience. 5 years. No. So when I say experience in this case, I mean like specifically how many years they've worked in our company.
Okay.
Okay, so now using for of loop,
Mhm.
let's do this. Using for of loop, I want you to find people who have been working more than 7, so like 7 or more years in our company. And we want to, let's say, give them, I don't know, some kind of bonus. So your return statement should be something like this. The person's name, let's see. Actually, let's do this. So if you find a person who has been working for like 7 years or more, to that person, we want to also add a new property, which is a bonus, set the tron. Okay, we want to
Yeah.
modify the person object.
Okay. Mhm. Five. Employees. Six. Mhm. Uh, that element of employees. Employees. Mm, And then we have to check if element experience uh, more than or equal 7,
Okay.
uh, then we have to add one more key into object with name bonus. It
Mhm.
means that we have to mm, element is ein object. Uh, I think it was something like element then bonus
Mhm.
equal true.
Mhm.
Was it in кавычках или нет? Не помню.
No,
I'm
because
not
it's a
sure. Boolean.
yeah. So it's not a string, it's a boolean.
And then we have to return.
No, you don't need to return anything because you're just modifying the array, right? So in this case, we don't need a return statement.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Just
Now,
console log or
no, you can just call the function and then, well, if you want, you can, yeah, call the function. Okay. And after your function is done modifying, you can just console log employees array because we're modifying that array.
Okay. Console log.
Mhm.
Here and here.
Nice. Okay. So let's change it a little bit. So
Mhm.
we only want to give bonuses to people who have worked 7 years or more in HR department. So only people who worked 7 years or more in HR department.
Okay. Element, department, oops, department, equal, feature,
Mhm.
we have only one person.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What else can we do? So, like, how do you guys like this kind of exercises? Should we continue doing something like that?
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, because I remember when we were just starting JavaScript, and I just always wanted to have more like practice exercises with data manipulation, like,
Mm-hmm.
because the rest of the stuff you can learn during the class, like regular classes, right? But I think extra classes, like it would be at least in the first 2-3 weeks, at least it would be a good idea to kind of let ourselves slowly solve this kind of data manipulation exercises so we can really understand the inner workings of like for loop, of how to manipulate objects, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
I
I think
agree.
good. Yeah, so if it's okay with you guys, like for the next 2-3 weeks, I think that's what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
Because this is the like the basis of JavaScript, right? So it's very important that you guys feel very comfortable building the logic and solving this kind of like functions and stuff. And we will get to like more and more complex problems each week. And in the meantime, like I want you guys to continue solving the practice questions from the portal.
Mhm.
And if you get stuck or something is not clear, just mark that question or like drop me a message and we will solve that question together in the classroom. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's very, very important that you guys solve those algorithm questions. So until next Saturday class, I want you to solve up to, let's see, try to solve at least 20 to 30 more questions. So right now you guys said that you solved up to number 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I want you to solve up to number 50.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
30 more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Know that it seems like a lot, but in fact, when you start solving them, you will see that a lot of them are similar to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that similarity is there on purpose. It's there for you guys to feel comfortable with the syntax. So yeah, just don't skip even if the question is similar. Still try to solve it. Okay.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, like if you get stuck with something, just drop me a message and we can solve that together in the classroom, but don't get stuck on one question for too long. Okay, so if you cannot solve it for like over 40 minutes and you really did your best to solve it, but you're still stuck, then try to like Google for an answer. And if you're not sure that you understand it, then reserve that question for extra class. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So agreed then, and at least until number 50. But
Okay.
if one of your main instructors from the week, during the week, they tell you to solve more questions or less questions, it means
Mm-hmm.
their like their homework has the priority over my homework. Okay, so just yeah, don't sell me out. Like Asel said, solve until number 50. I'm just like suggesting here, but if you get different instructions from your main instructors, then their instructions have priority over mine. Okay.
Okay.
Right. All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank
It was
you.
very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm always excited to join your classes, guys. And I'm always excited to see that you are making progress because since we only see each other once a week, like the difference that I see in your progress is very significant. And it really makes me happy to see that you guys are working hard, doing your homework and learning. I know that the pace is kind of crazy. But unfortunately, there is no other way, right? Because we're trying to give you a lot of new material and we only have 6 months. So it is going to be intense and it's going to be even more intense since we started JavaScript. So, you know, the only way to go here is to go forward, to do homework, to do those practice exercises. I swear, if you solve them, if you really do your best and solve them, your life with JavaScript and in the future with React will be so much easier. So really like push yourself really hard to solve those practice questions. Okay.
Yep, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. And I will see you next Saturday.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.